this guy in. Oh! Look at that aim. I don't think I could ever do that again if I tried. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of ARK Survival Evolved with me, PommieGamer. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a great day. And today, Freddie and I, we're in a bit of a taming mood. That's right, we're going to go out and we're going to try and tame some of the many dinos that have been released in the last couple of patches. We've kind of fallen a little bit behind on the taming. We've been cave splunking and dealing with the raptor claws as of late. And one of the ones that interests me the most was actually the Achatina, which is kind of a snail. And what's really interesting about these guys is that they produce as a byproduct a sort of paste which is similar to cementing paste and can be used in the same way, as well as organic polymer as well. So they're going to be very useful as a utility for us. Now the only way we can tame these guys is with sweet vegetable cakes, which the herbies prefer for healing. Now the vegetable cakes require 7 sap, 2 rock carrot, 2 long grass, 2 savoroot, 4 stimulant, 25 fibre and water to make. So if I take a look behind me, you'll see I've already loaded up our industrial cooker with all of the ingredients required. So we should have a decent amount of these made. So we should have, I think, 10 in total. So that should hopefully be enough to tame these guys with our taming rates. So if I turn this on, and you'll see they start producing. Now these do have a spoil timer, and the spoil timer is set to an hour inside the cooker, so not very long, so we're definitely going to have to make the most of them. And there's our 10 made. So let's grab those out. They're stacked in 5s, which is very similar to the organic polymer. So let's go downstairs and we'll take a look at what the spoil timer is in the fridge for these guys as well, because if we do tame the Achatina, this is the only thing they eat, so we're going to need to make up a batch of these. So inside the fridge they have a spoil timer of 5 days, which is not too bad, so you could bulk make these, but they, like I said, they only stack in 5, so it is going to take up a lot of space. But what we're going to do now, guys, is head out in the fog, evidently, make our way to the swamps, and once we've found some Achatina to tame up, we'll bring you guys back. See you guys in a bit. And we're back, guys, and Freddie and I have just returned from the swamps with 2 Achatinas. As you can see here, we've got a level 40 and a level 100. Now you're going to want to knock these guys out to feed them the sweet veggie cakes. So we're going to want to aim for the soft spots because their shells reduce damage by 80%, much like the turtles do. So let's start with Freddy's. Get a nice clean headshot.
If he stops moving.
If he stops moving. And he's out.
That was easy.
And this one is a little bit more tricky. And
there you go.
And he's out. There we go. Nice and simple. That's the kind of tames we like. So it should only take about 3 sweet veggie cakes on Freddy's guy to tame up. And it'll take about 4 on mine based on our 6 times rates. So we're going to sit and babysit these guys. Their torpor is falling a little bit, so we might need a bit of narcotics, probably only 1 or 2. I'll stick 50 on mine and stick 50 on Freddy's. And then we'll bring you back when they're about to wake up. See you guys in a bit. And we're back, guys, and my Achatina is just about to wake up. Just waiting for him to take that last bite on a sweet veggie cake. Should be any moment.
There you go, Larry crashing the shot.
And there we go. So I'm going to name mine Archer. It's the first name that came to mind when thinking of names that begin with A. And let's just do a quick rundown of the stats on this guy. Or girl. Well, it's kind of a not applicable gender. They really don't have one. So stats are kind of like not that impressive out the gate. 300 health, 330 stamina, food no one cares, weight is 231, melee damage 225.8, and movement speed of 100%, which for us now is not a great deal. Now if we go over to Larry, who tamed up a little bit earlier, Freddie's had this guy set to Wonder for a little bit, and we should be able to see what he's been producing since he's been on Wonder. So you can see in his inventory he's got 2 Achatina paste, which is a secretion chemically similar to cementing paste. So this is going to be really helpful when it comes to crafting weapons and armor, all of those kind of things that require cementing paste. They also produce organic polymer as well, and these stack to 100 in their inventory. So very similar to the dung beetles in terms of being able to produce things, and this is a pretty good spot for my archer to just kind of roam free and do his thing. So we're going to stick him on Wonder, but before we do that we have to pick them up because they do look pretty funny. They're pretty cool. Alright, let's put Archer down and let him do his thing. So enable wandering, and then he should start wandering around and producing that stuff in his inventory as well. They also, as you see on the ground here, this silver stuff is actually their equivalent to feces, and it's also this is Achatina paste as well. So not only do they produce it in the inventory, but they also produce it all over the place, as you can see. So you have to go around and pick this up. It does have a short spoilage timer, so you have to be pretty quick on your toes. What I'm interested to see is, does it have a spoilage timer in your inventory? No, it doesn't. So it is just like cementing paste, so you can stockpile this stuff, not a problem. Well, that's the Achatina. Freddie and I are going to head out and look for something else to tame. We'll see you guys in a bit. And we're back, guys, and as you can see I'm out on Little Wing and I picked up this Pachyrhinosaurus. This was one of the new dinos that got added in a couple of patches ago now, actually, and they're really interesting. They're a little bit smaller than a trike, but they have this unique ability where they can emit a pheromone or a scent that would either repel or attract other dinos. So if they're under attack from carnos or something like that, they can emit a purple pheromone that will basically make the carnos lose interest, and the inverse as well. They can emit a red pheromone which will attract other dinos towards them. So they're very much going to be the tank of the game, and I'm bringing him over here to the western coast base because I figured it's probably the safest place to try and tame one of these guys. We do have the taming pens over here, so we're just going to try and drop this guy inside the taming pen. Now the really weird thing about these guys is their preferred kibble. They actually prefer bug repellent, so I've got a ton of those made up and on Little Wing. Look at that, nailed it first time. So all we need to do is actually knock this guy out to get the tame going. Now you are going to need a ton of narcotics as well, because they do have incredibly low torpor that falls at incredibly fast rates. So you can see I've got the kibble already. I don't think we're going to need 33 of them. We also have some narcotics, so we should be pretty good to go. Now I do want to make sure I'm well away from him when he does his pheromone scent thing, because it also has the effect of instantly draining your stamina, so you can become pretty vulnerable. Now we're going to want to actually hit this guy anywhere else bar the head, because the head is just like the Pachy. It takes decreased damage, so somewhere on the side of the body, maybe just under the neck there if we can. And this guy, as you'll notice, is a level 112, 8 levels shy of a perfect tame, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty good for us. Now I don't know what the area of effect is on his scent. They normally emit it when they're pretty low health, or like that, and you can see it's a pretty big area, so that's instantly drained my stamina. As long as it's not the rage one, I'm not too worried. Yeah, I am not losing interest in you, big boy. He's done it again. Now hopefully this guy doesn't have... Oh, there we go. Excellent. Okay, we can't really access his inventory from this side, by the looks of it. If we come in here, we should be able to access it from here. So you can see his torpor is falling very, very rapidly there. So let's head over to Little Wing and grab the kibble and some narcotics. There we go. Let's grab a couple of hundred. Should probably be more than enough, but I did bring extras just in case. And he should be relatively safe inside the taming pen here. Okay, so let's get that kibble on him. And he's already eaten one. So he's doing pretty well, and as you can see there from our taming rates, it's not going to take too long for this guy to tame up. Right guys, I'll bring you right back when he's ready to wake up. See you guys in a bit. And we're back guys, and our Pachyrhinosaurus is just about to wake up. There we go. I'm going to accept that for now because I haven't even thought of a name. This guy tamed up super quick. He tamed out at level 167, so that's not too bad. Let's take a look at the stats. So it comes out the gate with 2,925 health. Stamina is 420. Oxygen food, no one cares, although his food is an incredible amount. Weight is 569.4. Melee damage 243.4. And a movement speed of 100%. Right guys, I'm going to get this guy back to base, get a saddle made up for him, and then I'll bring you back and show him what you can do. We'll see you guys in a bit. And we're back guys, and we got our Pachyrhinosaurus back to base. Looks like he's already got a level, but before we get to that, we need to name this guy. Now on the way back I was trying to think of some names for him, and given that he gives off a scent, a perfume if you will, I figured we'd name him after a perfume brand, and given he's a Pachyrhinosaurus, we're going to call this guy Paco Rabanne. I think it's quite fitting. Hey Paco. Right, now we need to get this saddle equipped to him, which I've already made up. It's actually pretty cheap. You craft it inside your inventory, and it costs 140 hide, 80 fibre, and 25 wood. Yes, I know, Paco. He's very excited about the saddle, as you can hear. That looks pretty cool. Very fetching. Right, so let's take a look at this level. Now, I'm thinking this guy is pretty much only useful as a tank. Especially in certain upcoming end of season battles we may or may not be having. Yeah, we're going to be fighting. He might be useful to draw some aggro away from some dinos. Would also be useful in caves, I'm guessing, but only if he can take the hits if he draws the aggro. So let's see how much we get if we pump his HP. So he's at 2925. Oh Christ. Very happy about that. So just shy of 100, so something like 80 something. We'll go again. If only to see the animation. In fact, let's do that and come out of the inventory. So there we go, we got him up to 3,398. I love those narcotics back whilst they're there. So let's get on him and see how he fares. So this is his normal walk speed. Pretty sweet. This is his sprint speed. So slightly quicker than a Triceratops, which is pretty good. So now let's see what these different scents do. Now I believe if I right click it will be the passive scent. So let's try the rage scent, which I believe is C. There you go. And that means I've aggroed this Anki, which would otherwise be passive. And now he's taking a swing at me. Let's see how he fares in a fight. Oh, and that's interesting. So the buff also aggroed that nearby Pteranodon. And now we've got a lot of things on us. So if we right click and we do the everyone chill out scent, and then everyone's cool with us. That's pretty cool. It's funny the music's still going because they are all completely passive on us. And you can see in the upper right there, the buff has a timer as well. Now, I wonder if you can sort of spam this. So if I right click again, looks like you can't use it for a while. There we go. So there's obviously a timeout, and you can't use that passive buff whilst it's still applied to the dino. Can use the rage buff though. No, you can't rage whilst you're passive. That would obviously be a be a random thing you could do if you were able to do that. So this guy is actually pretty useful. Definitely as a utility, he's going to be a tank. Certainly for an early game tame, he's going to be very, very useful. It's going to allow players to explore the island much more freely without fear of oh Jesus, without fear of being eaten by something a lot larger. I don't know whether his buff affects things like T-Rexes. That might be something we want to try and test, although I don't think he would survive a bout with a T-Rex. But yeah, Pachyrhinosaurus, you're pretty awesome, man. And we're back, guys, and as you can see, we're on a bit of a taming spree this episode. In Horus's Talons, we have a level 104 male Moschops. Now, these guys are pretty interesting. They're a specialty dino in that you can train them to harvest a particular material or resource more than others. So, I think it's going to be an interesting mix to add to our collection. Now, the wiki does say the easiest way to tame these guys, being a passive tame, is to stick them in a 4x4 fence like this. Now, I've got Kappa out here because the wiki also says it's the easiest dino to use to get them in there, but we're going to try and just drop this guy in. Oh! Look at that aim. I don't think I could ever do that again if I tried. So, Kappa, your services will not be needed. Now, this guy from a passive tame is also kind of unique as well, in that it doesn't have one particular favourite food. It actually has a few. It's not really fussy what it eats. Now, sap, rare mushrooms, leech blood and rare flowers are some of the foods it eats, as well as prime meat, raw fish meat and raw prime fish meat. So it's going to be interesting to see what this guy actually wants to eat. So let's just grab something and stick it in slot 0 and see if it wants to eat that. Put a rare flower. Okay, that's what it wants. Okay, rare flower it is. And that's pretty much almost tamed it, so hopefully this guy is going to be pretty quick and we're going to have all of the things we need. So I'll bring you back when he's tamed up and then we can see what this guy can do and how the specialty system works. We'll see you guys in a bit. And we're back, guys, and I think we just got one last thing to feed him, leech blood. And there we go. Well, that was fairly easy. So you do have to have a variety of different items on you. The only other thing he wanted to eat was sap and raw prime fish meat, so I took one of the megalodons out really quickly. But this is definitely the easiest way to tame him inside this taming pen. So I think I'm going to call this guy Moss. And the more I look at him, he actually looks like a Komodo dragon, really. Let's take this wall out. We'll be able to bring him out. This way. There we go. So he doesn't look like the fastest dino there ever were. But let's take a look at him up close. So he looks pretty cool. Not a lot of colour to him, but yeah, he definitely looks like a Komodo dragon. So he's got a level already, and this is a good opportunity to show you how the specialty system works. So really, all you're going to want to pump on these guys is weight and maybe a little bit of health. From what people are saying, the melee damage doesn't affect how much they're able to gather. So we're going to grab some weight on this guy because he's pretty low. And he's very happy about that. So now if we hold E for more options, you'll see we have this view harvesting levels menu, and we can see we've got a +1 level available. So if we go into that, we can see here we can harvest more sap. Unfortunately that's only really applicable to scorched earth because you'd need to harvest from the Joshua trees. Here you can harvest more raw prime meat. Always handy. Raw prime fish meat's a little bit harder to come by, so that's always handy as well. Rare flowers would involve taking him up some mountains somewhere. Rare mushrooms would involve taking him down to the swamps. And given this guy hasn't got a lot of health, and he flees away from everything, he is actually a coward. You can't get him to attack anything. That would be pretty hard. Leech blood again requires taking him to the swamps, a bit too dangerous. So I think out of all of them, and actually probably the most useful material going forward is actually going to be the organic polymer. So I'm going to stick the level into that. And we can see now his weight 107.7, quantity 104.6. So I think it's weight that actually affects the amount you harvest, and obviously this quantity percentage. But it's pretty cool. It's an interesting new system. Definitely going to be an interesting dino going forward. I'll have to take him up to the snow biome in another episode to see how much polymer he's actually able to harvest. Well, that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, remember to hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more ARK Survival Evolved videos. Until the next time, guys, keep calm and level up.